Hey, welcome back to the channel. This is Sovereign Citizen Chronicles. Today we have two court cases. One case is going to be with Judge Kalo Wilcox out of Washington State, Thurston County. The other case is going to be with Judge Buckley, same thing, Washington State, Thurston County. All right. The defendant's name is Michael Valentine, and he's going to be wearing a Sovereign Citizen hat, and he's also going to be representing himself. All right. So let's get to these cases.
Your Honor, this is Mr. Valentine, whose matters, I believe, are at the end of the calendar, numbers 26, 27, and he has declined counsel and would like to proceed on his own. I believe my office had been this matter before.
Yeah, Mr. Valentine, you had an attorney appointed, and then you didn't come back the way we needed to come back way back in March. So you got an attorney sitting there, an experienced criminal defense attorney, might help you. Would you like to take the advantage of having Thurston County Public Defense represent you again?
No, ma'am.
Can you tell me why?
Because I would like to proceed sui juris, because I believe I have my best interests, and I don't think anyone else in this court has my best interests for me.
Okay. All right. Well, first, there are a couple of warrants. I'm going to turn to the prosecuting attorney, Mr. Abid, first, and see what their recommendation is on this warrant return, and then I'll turn to you. So I'll just allow you to represent yourself today as you want to. Mr. Abid?
Your Honor, the state would object to releasing Mr. Valentine, and the alternative, the state asked that the court set substantial bail on both of these matters. The first one, ending in the cause number 693, is a case, is an old case. Mr. Valentine, I'm seeing, has substantial failure to appear history. This is here's sorry, Your Honor. Mr. Valentine was on warrant status for a significant period of time. In March, the court issued a $15,000 warrant on each case. The court, Your Honor, or the state, Your Honor, asks that the court impose bail in the same amount as the warrants.
And this is first DUI from November of 2021, and then the second allegation, January of 2024.
Correct. And
were these, one, it appears, was an allegation of a breath sample of 0.14, and the other from 2024, do you know the allegation?
My notes show that the 2024 allegation was included a refusal.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Valentine, what the state's asking me to do is have you post about 30,000 cash or a bond bail, and consider those same restrictions that were on you before, that you show up at pretrial services, that you stay clean and sober, you stay law abiding, you give UAs, you be on a device that's attached to your person to make sure you're not consuming alcohol. What do you have to say?
I object to that, Your Honor. I did make my best effort to show up at court, even when I didn't show up because I was confused about the dates. The clerk told me the wrong date. I showed up. I gave the clerk a letter. I wrote a letter to the court, and I also wrote counterclaims and responses to the State Attorney General's office, and I got no response from either. I went to try to squash the warrant. They told me that they wouldn't squash the warrant. They wanted me to either turn myself in, or they wanted to get me to pay more bonds. I have absolutely no problem showing up and representing myself. As far as what was the next thing? As far as these charges that are against me, I wanted to be clear that I am not a person. I'm not a legal entity. I'm a living man, and I want to enforce my constitutional rights. I have the right to drive without a license. I don't need a license. The Supreme Court has proven that many times.
So this is an argument that many sovereign citizens make, that they was traveling, they wasn't driving, and they do have the right to travel or the right to drive, so to speak. And this guy is mentioned in Supreme Court. So I ended up looking it up, and I can't find anywhere where the Supreme Court said that in any state that you can drive without a license. So I just don't know where sovereign citizens are getting this information from. I don't know if somebody's telling them this and they're not doing the fact checking it themselves, or what, or if they have some other type of resource that they're using. I cannot find any information that says that you have the right to drive a vehicle, a car, without a license in the United States. In no states at all. Every state has a law that you have to have license, registration, and insurance to drive a vehicle.
And it's also my understanding that this is a Nisi Prius court, and I would like to implement Rule Nisi. If the prosecutor has a valid contract between us, I would like him to produce it. If not, I do not wish to contract with any members of this court.
Mr. Valentine, I'm going to hold you on 15,000 cash or bond bail on each of these independently. So you'd have to post bond to be released, as I find that you're a risk to reoffend and a risk to commit, another DUI or vehicular assault or homicide, given the history while under the influence. So you're a danger to the community is what I'm finding. And you don't come back when we order you to come back, and you don't comply with court orders. So 15,000 cash or bond has to be posted on each one of these separately. And then you have to get yourself into pretrial services within 48 hours of release and have a scram device attached, stay clean and sober, stay law abiding in order to stay out of custody. No alcohol, no marijuana, no non-prescribed drugs, no bars or taverns. And don't drive unless you have a good license and proof of insurance. I'm going to set another court date. We would do this.
What jurisdiction is this court operating under, Your Honor?
So they're trying you under the same jurisdiction that has you locked up at the moment.
Thurston County District Court here in the state of Washington.
But what jurisdiction are you trialing me under?
What jurisdiction? Thurston County District Court, Thurston County, state of Washington.
That's not what, is this under a common law jurisdiction?
I'll have you research all that yourself, sir. I'm not going to argue with you. I have jurisdiction over you and over this matter.
So is this court operating common law, ma'am?
I'm talking to my clerk. 1 second. And make it clear, good, that he's proceeding pro se and that we need to do it.
I am not pro se. I'm sui juris.
All right. You're proceeding without an attorney.
Did you take an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States, ma'am? The supreme law of the
I
land?
sure did. I take it every time I get reelected, and I take it very seriously.
Will you be honoring that?
Very seriously.
Are you going to be honoring that
No,
oath
it's just
today,
free trial, and then we'll get it set for confirmation and jury dates.
ma'am? Are you honoring that oath today, ma'am?
I sure am. And I do it every day.
So you think I'm a person?
I sure do.
So you think I can be bought and sold and regulated? You think I'm a persona, that I live in the likeness of another?
I think you're a human being and you're covered by the laws of the state of Washington.
A human being and a person are two different things.
No, I'm not interested in semantics. So
I'm trying to get down to the facts, ma'am.
you can define things the way you want, but the law is not agreeing with you. All right, we're going to be back on September 20th, 1:30. We'll probably talk some more about your decision to represent yourself, and that's fine. But don't be surprised if whichever judge is there has another discussion with you about that. And at any time, you can ask the court to appoint an attorney. Anytime you can hire an attorney to represent you too. You're not prevented from that.
An attorney.
So we'll be back on September 20th, and you need to be back in court. If you're still in custody, we'll hear you in custody. And if you do post bond, you have an obligation to get into pretrial services within 48 hours and comply with them for sobriety monitoring. And that substance use monitoring program will pay for the scram device.
Can we change the venue, ma'am, for lack of jurisdiction?
Well, you'll have to file all your motions in writing and then you serve them as well on the prosecuting attorney and then we'll set motion hearings.
I don't have the resources to do that in custody, man.
I think you do.
I don't. There's not much paper here. There's no computers I can use, no printers. They're not giving me post stamps.
Offering you Thurston County Public Defense's assistance, I could.
Deny the right to defend myself. You want me to hire someone else to do it? I'm of sound
I'm
mind.
not denying that, and I'm not going to argue with you, sir. So, at any time, we can talk about standby counsel. We can talk about counsel.
Everyone represented. I will continue to proceed sui juris.
All right, that's up to you. I'm doing that. All right, so we're done today, and those orders will be given to you in the jail.
All right, I don't consent to any of those orders.
All right, so that's the end of that proceeding. Now Mr. Valentine is going in front of Judge Buckley. Same thing, Thurston County, Washington State. All right, so let's get to the second proceeding.
And folks, I'm guessing you're all here for the same case, since you're all sitting shoulder to shoulder. What case are you here for? Okay. And Ms. Moore, is Mr. Valentine, is that Mr. Valentine with you by chance?
Yes, it is.
This is Mr. Valentine,
Okay.
Your Honor, wishes to proceed without counsel.
Okay.
First of all,
Yeah, hold on. I'll let you know when I need to hear from you.
okay.
So Ms. Moore, has your office appointed somebody to replace Mr. Gaslin?
Your Honor, we were not appointed at the last hearing, and I'm not asking for appointment today as Mr. Valentine is declining representation.
Okay.
I have advised.
Well, okay,
He wants
I'll take care of it. Thank you. Mr. Valentine, as Ms. Moore has indicated, you've told her you want to represent yourself. I'll tell you that's a huge mistake. I will treat you like you graduated from law school. I'm going to guess that because you're sitting there next to Ms. Moore, you have not graduated from law school, but you will be treated as if you had, which means I will expect you to know everything that I expect every lawyer to know. I will expect you to do the things that I expect every lawyer to do. I will expect you not to do any of the things that a lawyer is expected not to do. All that means that you haven't been trained in those areas, and yet I'm going to hold you to those standards. You would be making a bad mistake if you represent yourself, particularly because with two cases like this, you're probably looking at potentially up to 2 years in jail. So it's really important that you have good representation. If you were there, even if you had been trained as an attorney, I would say do not represent yourself. Lawyers know not to represent themselves. And there's a saying among lawyers that if you ever get charged with a crime, lawyers will say, it's a fool who represents himself. That is, even though they're trained to do that. So I would strongly recommend you not do that. You have the right to do it. I'll be very clear. I think you would be making a huge mistake should you do that. Do you have any questions about that? Do you have any questions about that?
Are you attempting to intimidate me under the color of law?
Do you have any questions for me other than that? No, I'm not attempting. I'm trying to make it very clear to you that I think it's a big mistake.
I'm ready to proceed.
Okay. All right.
First of all, I would like to address we the people, and I would ask that they would all stand for a moment.
No,
People of
just
special appearance.
no. We're not doing anything like that. We're here on a pretrial. You have a confirmation hearing set for the 18th of October. Mr. Valentine, you have anything to say about that status? Otherwise, we're just going to close the hearing and move to that date.
I'm going over judicial notices that I've submitted to the court.
Okay. This is not a motion hearing. This is just a procedural hearing. And we'll just close out this procedure or this proceeding and confirm that your next court date is the 18th of October. If you wish to file a motion, you're going to have to do so in the appropriate fashion and get it before the court. It's one of those things that I've told you is why I advise you not
I
to
have
proceed
filed
representing
judicial notices.
yourself.
I have filed judicial notices with the court.
Okay, thank you. We'll set a motion hearing and have consideration of those. Thank you. Hi, folks. I don't want to hear any comments. None. So 18th of October is when he's due back.
And that's set for trial confirmation, Your Honor.
It's set for trial confirmation.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And Amy, if you'll make a note to.
Well, I object to that. You're not allowing me.
We'll note your objection. Thank you.
All right, that's the end of the proceedings. Both judges didn't play any games with Mr. Valentine. All right, so it's very unfortunate. He's trying to represent himself, and obviously he had the sovereign citizen hat on. All right, so there's going to be 2 more appearances that I already have in my possession. I'll be posting those tomorrow around 4 o'clock. All right, and I believe there's a 3rd appearance as well. I don't yet have it, but I'll be trying to get it as soon as possible to bring it to you. All right, so I just want to thank you once again for watching. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and also hit that notification bell so you get notified when I upload more videos. All right, catch you on the next video. Sovereign Citizen Chronicles.